Kate Hudson in Song Good.
No.
And Emma Stone in Begonia.
Man. God it. I can never get anything I want. It just never happens. What the are we doing? What is up, everybody? It is Oscar nomination morning. And this is a pretty interesting Oscar year. I've been on the record of saying last year I didn't think was like the best year in movies. There's a lot of really good movies, but a lot of them just haven't hit for me the same way they did for other people. So this has kind of been a year where I haven't been as invested in the Oscar campaign race, but I still have a lot of opinions. I still think nominations really matter for the Academy. It helps launch a lot of people's careers. It helps 50 years down the line when people go back and look at Best Picture nominees or Best Actor winners, you know, like it is important. It helps cement the legacy of a lot of movies. In terms of what I want to happen, it's pretty much impossible to happen because my favorite movie of last year was The Testament of Anne Lee. Did not expect it to be a Best Picture nominee. It's kind of a weirder movie, but I do think it's actually crazy that it's not nominated for anything music-wise because it didn't make the short list. Like the score and some of the tracks for the movie, to me, that's insane, but I kind of had my overreaction to that 2 weeks ago, so I'm not going to sit here and be like, where's The Testament of Anne Lee? I already found out, and I'm already pissed about it. I would love to see some Weapons nominations. The fact that Amy Madigan is apparently in the running to actually get nominated, I think is pretty crazy. If Weapons snagged like a screenplay nomination or something like that, I think that'd be really cool. But otherwise, I think we just hop into it. These are the 2026 Oscar nominations.
Danielle, you were nominated for an Oscar for The Color Purple, in case you forgot.
God.
For performance by an actress in a supporting role. Elle Fanning in Sentimental Value.
Okay. She's good.
Inga Eve's daughter, Lilos, in Sentimental Value.
Okay. She's fine.
Amy Madigan in Weapons.
Okay. All right. You know what? I can't
Rumi
complain.
Masaku in Sinners.
Interesting.
And Tiana Taylor.
Okay.
in One Battle.
Someone definitely. Oh, no, Ariana Grande. Should I also be like picking what I think is going to win? I think I'm going to do that. I'm also going to pull up the Gold Derby cheat sheet on the side so I can see who kind of got snubbed in a lot of these categories. No Adeza Zion here, which I would probably put her in place of one of the two Sentimental Value girls personally. No Ariana Grande. Don't come after me in the comment section. I had nothing to do with this. I do think Tiana Taylor is the most deserving here. As much as I love the Amy Madigan performance, I think it's super cool. They're both not really in the movie. They both kind of bookend the movie in different ways, but I do think Tiana Taylor is really, really good in One Battle After Another. I think she probably should win. In my heart, I should be picking Amy Madigan, but Tiana Taylor, I feel like definitely deserves it.
Frankenstein.
Figures.
Kokuo.
I'm not going to pretend like I know what that is.
The Smashing Machine. And The Ugly Stepsister.
Haven't seen it. Heard it's awesome. Okay, so I just realized no Emily Blunt either for supporting actress. I think that's probably fine. When it comes to makeup and hairstyling, the Smashing Machine, I think the work they did on Dwayne Johnson was actually incredible. If the Smashing Machine deserves to get anything from this Oscars, I do think it's the makeup. The Frankenstein makeup is also very impressive with the work they do on the monster. I have not seen The Ugly Stepsister yet. I think it's pretty cool that it got nominated. I've heard awesome things about it. I know that movie is super gory and they do a lot of cool effects with that. So I'm sure that's a really cool, could slip into a win nomination. I'm going to say I would want to go to Smashing Machine. Gonna say it goes to Frankenstein.
Begonia.
Begonia, okay.
Frankenstein.
Okay.
Hamnet. One
Sure.
Battle After Another.
Okay.
And Sinners.
Obvious, yeah. So what is not there? I knew Testament of Anne Lee couldn't make it. I think F1 could have and should have been in here. No Marty Supreme is actually kind of crazy now that I think about it. Surratt too. Oh shit. How'd Begonia get in here? And I really like Begonia. Frankenstein was kind of like fine. Hamnet, the main track of the score that makes people cry, he's been abusing for decades. Don't overall love this category. I think Sinners should win and will win. That would be my pick for both.
And now, here are the nominees for Best Live Action Short Film.
I mean, I'm not going to pretend that I'm well informed on this one. I'm going to say Jane Austen's period drama wins, but two people exchanging saliva would be my pick. Again, we're shooting in the dark. I'm not even going to cheat and look at Gold Derby and what's the favorite right now. I'm going to go The Girl Who Cried Pearls should win and Retirement Plan will win.
Begonia. Screenplay
Really
by
cool.
Will Tracy.
I really like the Guardian.
Frankenstein, written for the screen by
Okay.
Guillermo Hamnet. Screenplay by Chloe
Sure.
Zhao and Maggie O'Farrell. One Battle After Another, written
Definitely.
by Paul Thomas Anderson. And Train Dreams, screenplay
Okay.
by Clint Bentley and Greg
I'm not as
Guido.
big on Train Dreams as everybody else, but I think it's cool that it's getting nominated. Yeah, I guess no other choice could have snuck in there. I guess no other choice is going to be kind of fucked when it comes to the rest of this then. One Battle's probably going to win, probably should win. I think One Battle's going to end up sweeping when it comes to the actual Oscar night.
Blue Moon, written by Robert Kaplow.
Okay.
It Was Just an Accident, written by
Cool.
Jafar Panahi.
Marty Supreme, written by Ronald Bronstein
Cool.
and Josh Safdie. Sentimental Value, written by Eskil Fucht, Joachim Trier. And Sinners, written by Ryan Coogler.
Yeah, no Weapons screenplay. It was a long shot. It wasn't going to happen. I still think Weapons definitely should be in there over Blue Moon. Blue Moon's not even the best Richard Linklater movie of the year. The other ones I can't really complain. Like, if we're going under the assumption that Sinners is not going to win Best Picture, is it one of those things where it's like, here's the honorary Oscar to Ryan Coogler? I could totally see that happening. I could see Panahi getting some love for the same reason, though. Like, obviously, I don't know if Panahi gets nominated for director yet, but if they want to honor him in some way, maybe they give him the Oscar. This is kind of a tough one to predict. I'm going to guess it goes to Sinners. It feels like if One Battle is going to get a lot of things that night, maybe just they do Sinners. I feel like that's the safe pick. I would want Marty Supreme to win, though. I think that'd be really cool.
Here are the nominees for performance by an actor in a supporting role. Benicio del Toro in One Battle After Another.
Okay.
Jacob Elordi in Frankenstein.
Okay. I think it's deserving.
Delroy Lindo in Sinners.
Oh, shit. Okay. Wait a
Sean
second. No.
Penn, One Battle After
Okay.
Another.
Also deserving.
And Stellan Skarsgård in Sentimental.
Who the fuck missed? Who am I not thinking of? Paul Mescal. Oh shit. All right, let's be honest. Paul Mescal 100% should be in here. He could take Benicio or Delroy's spot, probably. I know that's a terrible look for me to say on camera. That one's a pretty crazy snub, I think. And I'm not even like a big Hamnet defender. Paul Mescal is incredible in that. A lot of people would probably take Elordi out. I think Elordi 100% deserves a nomination. He is so good in Frankenstein. I think Sean Penn probably should win. I know Sean Penn he's not the most Oscar voter friendly, I'll say. So I could see a world where there's just too much he's up against. I could totally see Stellan Skarsgård taking it, but Sean Penn he plays one of those roles that's so undeniable. It's not in the same category of like a Heath Ledger Joker, but it's like maybe a tier or two below where he's at least like, oh, this is clearly the best supporting performance of the year. And I would like to believe that the Academy likes to award that. So I think Sean Penn should win. He probably won't win. I'm going to say he will win. I'm not confident in that answer, but we'll see what happens.
Now, here are the nominees for the first new Oscar category in 25 years.
It's about damn time.
Hamnet,
Okay.
Marty Supreme,
Super deserving.
One Battle
Super
After
deserving.
Another,
Obvious.
The Secret Agent, and Sinners.
Okay. Here's the thing with Marty Supreme. It should win, in my opinion. I love how the Safdies tend to cast a lot of their movies, especially a lot of the side characters. They just pick people that aren't the most professional actors, and they get the absolute best out of them. That's one of the things I love about Eliza Hittman and her work. And he could have done a whole audition process for the villain of his movie, but he said, yeah, why would I do that if I could just cast the guy that is literally the villain of my movie? So I think Marty Supreme should definitely win. In terms of what will win, it feels very One Battle or Sinners. I'm going to go under the assumption that One Battle is going to have one of these sweeping kind of Oscar nights. Just seems like that movie's building a lot of momentum right now. I could see Sinners getting it, but I'm going to pick One Battle. I think it should go to Marty Supreme, though, for sure.
Avatar, Fire and Ash.
Okay. Do the digital costumes count for costume design? I don't know. I don't know how that works. Sinners, it's like they are cool, but they took all the costumes from the Blade movie that got canceled. It still works, though. I mean, the costumes in Sinners are really cool. I would probably Frankenstein has really cool costumes, and I'm not an Oscar history expert, but I feel like the Frankenstein-y kind of movie tends to win this category. Sinners probably should win, even though they reuse the costumes. Frankenstein wins.
And music, original song, Golden from K-pop Demon Hunter.
Okay, people like that one. Again, Testament of Ann Lee should have 4 of these spots, but they didn't even make the shortlist, which is insane to me. I'm starting to think nobody even watched that movie. Like, I'm going insane. I know the K-pop Demon Hunter song is clearly so popular. I hear it everywhere. It might win because of it. Like, it's one of those things, it's so popular, and I had heard it on the radio for so long. I didn't even realize it was the K-pop Demon Hunter song, but I Lied to You from Sinners is like, that is the moment of the movie. I think it should be that one. I'm gonna say K-pop Demon Hunter wins.
The nominees for Best Documentary Feature Film.
I slacked on documentaries this
The
year.
Alabama
so
Solution.
heard it's really good.
Come See Me in the Good Light.
Don't know much about it.
Cutting Through Rocks. Mr. Nobody Against Putin.
Heard pretty good things.
And The Perfect Neighbor.
Good documentary. I'm not going to say what should win because I haven't seen the other 4. I feel like that's unfair. But I do think The Perfect Neighbor is a good documentary. I think it probably should win, even though I'm coming from more of the perspective of there's hundreds of creators that have been helping tell these stories for years in kind of the same exact fashion. So I don't think it's that like unique of an idea to do for a documentary. It's just put on a different platform. But I do think the story is so important. And I think the story deserves to be told, like the thousands of other stories that deserve to be told. So I think Perfect Neighbor will win. I'm not going to say it should win because I haven't seen the other 4. I think it's unfair. Children No More Were and Are Gone. It just sounds like a winner.
For Best International Feature Film, the nominees are The Secret Agent, Brazil.
Okay, I'm going to pause this right now. If Neon gets all 5 of these, that's going to be insane. I think The Voice of Hind Rajab deserves 1 spot, but Neon's already got the first one on the board.
It Was Just an Accident,
Okay,
France.
good.
Sentimental Value, Norway.
Figured.
Sirat, Spain.
Wow. What's the 5th? Is it... I can't do alphabetical order.
Voice of
Okay,
Hind
I think Voice of
Rajab.
Hind Rajab. They took out No Other Choice, though. I know people have been saying that No Other Choice was going to fall flat, but the fact that No Other Choice is arguably better than all of these movies, I don't think it's better than The Voice of Hind Rajab. I think The Voice of Hind Rajab is a top 10 movie last year. I think it's really, really fascinating documentary fiction filmmaking blend. I would keep It Was Just an Accident probably over No Other Choice as well, but No Other Choice I think clears the other 3. And I like Sirat, don't get me wrong, but I could just imagine like if you're going to the AMC and they're doing like an international feature film nominee marathon and you bring your parents, you're like, we're going to see some truly incredible storytelling today. If you brought them into Sirat, they would probably never want to watch a movie again. My sister was telling me it was going to happen. I did not see the Sirat nomination happening. That's pretty crazy. That's a great nomination for a lot of people, and it is a what the fuck nomination for the rest of the country. I probably would have put No Other Choice in over that, or Sentimental Value, or Secret Agent. What wins though? I should make the guess after I see the best picture list because that'll really narrow it down. But it's safe to assume that It Was Just an Accident and Sentimental Value or Secret Agent are going to be kind of those 3. I'm going to cheat the system. I'm going to say It Was Just an Accident wins. But if it doesn't get nominated for best picture, I'm going to change my pick to Sentimental Value of what will win. Of this list, it should be It Was Just an Accident or The Voice of Hind Rajab. I really like The Voice of Hind Rajab, but they're so close. It Was Just an Accident was really close to making my top 10 of the year. If it goes to either of those 2, I'd be pretty happy, if I'm being honest.
For Best Animated Feature Film, here are the nominees. Elio,
It's probably the only one I saw this year.
K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I'm so behind on my animated
Little
films.
Amelie-
I didn't really look at what the favorite is here. Elio doesn't feel like it has momentum to win. K-pop Demon Hunters, like, I know people say it's good. Like, is it also just popular enough where it's the biggest movie Netflix has ever done? And is there just enough Oscar voters that aren't going to sit through the other nominees? Yeah, you know, I watched K-pop Demon Hunters 15 times with my daughter this year. I'm just going to pick it. Maybe that's bad thinking on my part, but I'm going to think K-pop Demon Hunters wins. It's hard for me to say what should win. I haven't seen anything here besides Elio. I really liked Elio. That movie got way too much hate.
Frankenstein.
Obvious. Probably should
Hamnet.
win. Sure. I shouldn't say sure. The set at the end is pretty great. I'm being a dick.
And Sinners.
Also, go figure. In like a good way. Like Sinners, the whole second half definitely deserves to be in there. Kind of like how I was talking about costume design before. I feel like sometimes production design just, it doesn't really match up necessarily with what's winning best picture, anything like that. This feels like the one category Frankenstein should definitely win in my book. The sets in that film, just like every other Del Toro movie, are incredible. I think a lot of it gets ruined by the visual effects of that movie. I think it will win the Oscar, and I think it should win the Oscar.
The nominees for Achievement in Film Editing.
All right, let's see.
F1.
Fuck yeah, let's go.
Marty
It deserves it.
Supreme.
Also really good. So for those of you that don't know, a lot of times film editing kind of narrows down who the best picture race is in between. Like F1, I don't think is gonna get nominated for best picture. If it does, I'm gonna have a whole talk at the end of this video. But usually, like if you're nominated for best picture, but not nominated for film editing, you don't really have as big of a chance at winning best picture. The only time I think in recent memory it has happened was Birdman, but that's because there's a minimal editing in Birdman. It's supposed to look like one take. So in that regard, I'm a little surprised that Sentimental Value got in over Hamnet. I'm not upset about it. F1 is a totally deserving nomination. Some people are gonna hate on that, but the way they cut together that whole movie to make it fly by, and then the editing within the races themselves is some of the best of the entire year. I've been on the record saying that for a while. So I think that's one of the coolest nominations of the day so far. I think that's really awesome. Again, One Battle's getting clear a lot of awards this year, I think, but I think F1 should take it, and that'd be so cool if it did somehow.
And for achievement in sound, here are the nominees.
F1 again.
F1.
Yep. F1.
One Battle After Another.
F1.
Sinners.
F1.
And Sirat.
Okay, very cool nomination. Wasn't sure if it was going to happen, but I should have thought about that. Once it got into Best International, it's like, yeah, Sirat could be on the board for sound. I'm a much bigger fan of F1, and that's going to make a lot of people click off this video. Sirat is a really unique sound experience, but I think I like a lot of the score in Sirat, but the sound is still incredible in Sirat. It's between those two. Those two clear the other three by a mile. I think F1 should and will win, but like Sirat's right there. If you ask me tomorrow, I'd be like, if Sirat wins best sound, there's nothing I could say. It'd be like, yeah, I get it. Two awesome picks though. Go off, sound people. You're doing the good work.
For achievement in visual effects, the nominees are Avatar, Fire and Ash.
Yep. Obvious.
Jurassic World, Rebirth.
Okay. I'm not upset about it. The dinosaurs look pretty good.
The Lost Bus.
Okay. I heard it's awesome.
Sinners.
I think one of the worst parts of Sinners is the visual effects. That's my only problem. When the vampires, spoiler alert, go up in flames, I think it looks really bad. I'd say the same thing if Frankenstein was here, or with the wolves in the fire. It gives that for me. I'm really happy something like Superman isn't here, though. Honestly, no superhero movies. When's the last time that happened? I have no idea. I'm kind of surprised Jurassic World Rebirth is here, but I do think the visual effects in the Jurassic World movies, even though if some of them don't hit as hard for me, the visual effects are kind of undeniable. I'm doing all this talk where we know Avatar is going to win. It will win. It should win. I'll be curious to see if this is going to be the first time an Avatar movie doesn't get nominated for Best Picture. But yeah, this is going to clear in visual effects, obviously.
Here are the nominees for achievement in cinematography. Frankenstein. Sinners.
Yep.
And Train Dreams.
Okay. And I'm someone that really likes Frankenstein, but I think a lot of the movie they make look bad. And what I mean by that is like the production design is stellar. It's some of the coolest looking sets I've seen in a long time. And somehow about a third of the movie looks terrible every once in a while. And again, I know the Testament of Ann Lee didn't make the shortlist, so I'm not expecting it to show up here. But when you compare the Testament of Ann Lee to all of these movies, I think it looks more stunning. I think Sinners in One Battle, it's between those two. I'm going to go with my gut and say Sinners does win. I think the propaganda that Ryan Coogler has greatly done for IMAX cinema was a big deal this year. And maybe I would pick it, but Train Dreams looks really nice. Maybe I would pick Train Dreams.
For performance by an actor in a leading role, Timothée Chalamet and Marty Supreme.
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio
Yep.
and one Ethan Hawke in Blue Moon.
People are talking about that
Michael
happening.
B. Jordan in Sinners.
I didn't know if that was going to happen.
And Wagner Moura in The Secret Agent.
Who is missing? I know somebody's missing. I got to go to the cheat sheet. No Jesse Plemons, no Joel Edgerton, no Dwayne Johnson, but it says on Gold Derby those would be the 6, 7, and 8 anyway. Would I put any of them here? I would definitely put Jesse Plemons, and I'm going to go on the record saying it. I think Dwayne Johnson deserves to be in here. The Ethan Hawke down, Ethan Hawke, Michael B. Jordan, Wagner Moura, they're all good in their movies. I don't think they're as good as Dwayne Johnson. I'm probably never going to say that ever again in my life. And I would say Jesse Plemons too, but Jesse Plemons in Begonia is just kind of doing a lot of similar things to what he's kind of done before, where he's playing like the lunatic kind of guy. I still think he's great in the movie. I understand why he's not here. It's starting to feel like, though, it's between Timothy and Leo. It feels like Timothy's gaining momentum. It feels like he's going to get his first Oscar. I would probably pick Leo. The more I think about One Battle After Another, I think Leo's really good in that. And I like Leo's performance in that more than the Timmy performance in Marty Supreme. I think I would want Leo to get a second Oscar. Leo feels like one of those guys that should get a second Oscar, but I think Chalamet's just got a lot of momentum right now. He pushed the fuck out of Marty Supreme, and I think he's going to end up getting an Oscar because of it.
For performance by an actress in a leading role, the nominees are Jessie Buckley in Hamnet,
Yep, she's going to win.
Rose Byrne in If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You,
Good performance. I'm pausing it because I really want Amanda Seyfried here. Is that even possible? Yes, because we go alphabetically based on last name. Okay, so it's possible. That's what I really want to happen. I don't have faith.
Kate Hudson in Song
Fuck.
Song Blue,
Fuck. No.
Renata Reinsva in
Oh.
Sentimental Value, and Emma Stone in Begonia.
Fuck, man. God damn it. I can never get anything I want. It just never happens. What the fuck are we doing? Okay, I haven't seen Song Sung Blue. I'm sorry. So maybe Kate Hudson deserves to be in here. I can't hate on her if I haven't seen the movie. I have seen everything else. Jessie Buckley is clearly the best here. Is clearly going to win. It's been the most obvious all year. Anyone that saw Hamnet knew like, oh yeah, she's going to win the Oscar. And then Amanda Seyfried is better than everyone else on this list. And I'm going to go on the record of saying I don't think it's even fucking close. Rose Byrne, good in If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. I never got behind like an Oscar nomination, but I'm happy for her. Like I do think it's cool. I'd pick her over Renee if I'm being honest. She was way more impactful in Worst Person in the World. Emma Stone in Begonia, I really like actually. Like sure, we'll keep her. I feel like someone else got snubbed. Am I crazy? No Chase Infinity. Okay, I actually would have. I'm kind of cool with Chase Infinity not being on here. I don't think she necessarily. I don't think the performance is deserving of an Academy Award. But again, I haven't seen Kate Hudson in Song Sung Blue. Jessie Buckley will and should win this of the 5. Testament Van Lee is going to get no nominations. We are living in my version of hell.
For achievement in directing, the nominees are
All right, what do I want to see here? Sometimes I'm anti-nominating somebody for the story, but It Was Just an Accident is a really good movie, and the story behind it and how Jafar pulled that off is so admirable that it's one of those times where I'm like, yeah, the story should at least get him nominated. I know he's kind of up in the air for this one, so let's see what happens.
Chloe Zhao, Hamnet.
Okay, figured that would
Josh
probably happen,
Safdie,
right?
Marty Supreme.
Okay,
Paul Thomas Anderson,
the most obvious one, Coogler's gonna get it,
Joachim Trier, Sentimental Value.
right?
And Ryan Coogler,
Yeah.
Sinners.
Okay. Again, not a bad list. I'm a big fan of Trier. I think Sentimental Value is my least favorite of his movies that I've seen, but it's a stacked year. Like this is one of those times where I understand Jafar not getting in, even though I don't, but it's like, who do you take out? Like there's some I would personally put him over. I would put him over Chloe Zhao in this scenario. I like It Was Just an Accident more than Sinners, but I think Coogler, what he did with that movie, he's one of the reasons I like Sinners as much as I do. So I would keep Ryan Coogler for sure. It feels like Paul Thomas Anderson deserves his Oscar finally. It's not one of my favorite movies from him, but it feels like, just like how Nolan had his Oppenheimer moment, it feels like Paul is finally going to get his moment. I think he wins this.
The 10 films nominated for Best Picture are
Begonia, Ed Guiney and
I really like it. Made my top 10.
F1, Chad Omen, Brad
Oh,
Pitt,
shit.
Garner, Jeremy Kiner.
Fuck
Joseph
yeah. That's
Linsky,
awesome.
and
No way.
Frankenstein, Guillermo del Toro,
Hamnet, Liza Marshall.
Yeah, we figured that.
Nicholas
F1.
Garner,
Best Picture nominee,
Marty
F1.
Supreme,
Figured.
Taggis,
I mean, these are the
Taggis,
obvious
and
ones.
Timothy
Holy
Chalamet.
shit. So what doesn't make it?
One battle after another.
Obviously,
Adam
that's going to make
Sandler,
it.
Sarah
Obviously,
Murphy,
this and
Paul
Sinners are on the
Thomas
list.
Anderson.
Sentimental Value is on the list.
The Secret Agent, Emily
It's a good movie.
Leclerc,
It's a good movie. I like the Brazilians.
Sentimental Value.
It Was Just an Accident. It has to be the one, right?
Producers.
So yeah, I guess this is going to win Best
Sinners.
International. Is there anything
And
else? How
Ryan
many was that?
Coogler,
9?
producers.
Or was that 10?
And Train Dreams. Marissa.
Wow.
McMahon.
Again, not my personal favorite, but a lot of people really love it. So it looks like It Was Just an Accident was supposed to be the 10th. F1, they put at 11, Weapons at 12. A Weapons Best Picture nomination, I also would have lost my mind. I didn't think F1 Best Picture was on the board. I can't lie. And I feel like since it was my third favorite movie of last year, I have to be the one person doing Oscar nominations that has to defend it. I think F1 is arguably better than almost every movie on this list. And I know it's a more basic movie than almost every movie on this list, but I cannot emphasize enough that a lot of these filmmakers, if they tried to do what Joseph Kosinski did, they would not be able to pull it off. And I know you can make that argument for Avatar, which now that I see it, yeah, no Avatar, Fire and Ash. I'm cool with it. It's arguably the best Avatar movie in some ways. It's arguably not in a lot of others. And I feel like Avatar has been honored at the Oscars. You know what I mean? But F1 is one of the few expensive movies that looks like it was expensive to make. The racing scenes are some of the coolest action filmmaking we have seen in a very long time. I would much rather have an F1 here than like Wicked for Good. And honestly, looking at the list, I like every movie on the list. There's not a single movie I dislike here, which is not always the case. It does feel like it was just an accident, should be here. And I know every other person is going to say, why isn't it in F1 spot? Whereas I don't think we should be looking at it from that perspective. It was just an accident, should be in here, but what spot should it take? For example, something like Frankenstein, which I really like. I even like Frankenstein more than a couple of the other movies on this list. Like I like Frankenstein more than Hamnet probably. But I think Best Picture has to have a lineup of there's got to be two things going on, right? I think your movie has to be great or really good. And does it help like define the time in filmmaking right now? You know what I mean? And sometimes a movie gets nominated for just one of those things. And I don't want a movie to just get nominated because it feels like it should be nominated. Like the narrative of the story of the making of the film shouldn't carry it to a nomination. The movie has to stand on its own as a really good movie. And I think It Was Just an Accident is one of those times where that absolutely is the case. And in that regard, I would put it over like Frankenstein or The Secret Agent. I would put it over Sentimental Value, but Sentimental Value feels like a very movie that should be on this list. It's kind of in the same category as Hamnet, where like I would put It Was Just an Accident over Hamnet, but also Hamnet was one of the bigger movies of the year in terms of critical success. I would put It Was Just an Accident over Train Dreams, but again, Train Dreams, like it's cool to see a really small movie like that. I really had no faith Train Dreams would make a run. I mean, I had zero faith F1 would be in consideration. I felt like the crazy person talking all year that F1 should totally be in the conversation for like a Best Picture nomination because I thought there was no shot in hell that could ever happen. And here we are. But I wanted one nomination for The Testament of Anne Lee. And once I saw the short list for no music, which I think is crazy, both in terms of score and original songs, like to me that was insane. But I thought Amanda would at least get nominated. She's too good. And maybe it's one of those things where they didn't send out enough screeners and not enough people watched it because in my head I cannot process how that didn't happen. No Other Choice getting snubbed everywhere is also pretty crazy, but it's also not crazy when you realize the WGA hates him. So it seems like a lot of people just don't like Park Chan-wook within the voting community. So I actually should have seen that coming. Overall though, I do think I've seen nominations where it's like, what the fuck? There's always one big snub. To me, it's Amanda Seyfried right now. Like, to me, that's crazy. There's never going to be a nomination day where they get everything I want. It's just not going to happen. And even though I don't love One Battle as much as everyone else, I think it's a really good movie. I don't think it's like the defining best movie of the century, like a lot of people are saying, but it's really good. And Paul Thomas Anderson feels like he should have had 3 Oscars by now. So to me, I never mind a legacy Oscar if the thing we are acknowledging and awarding is really good. I don't believe in legacy nominations and all that kind of shit. I think it just like, it keeps pushing off the fact that why don't we just award the best thing of the year? It should have nothing to do with who hasn't had one yet. I think that stuff is so dumb. And again, this year, I haven't been as into the Oscar like race. I haven't been following it as much as I have in years past. So if you're someone that has been following it, what are some of the biggest snubs in your opinion? What are some of the nominations you're most happy with? Would love to have the conversation in the comment section down below. And this is Chase. Thank you so much for watching as always, and hope you have an awesome day.